that I'm forgetting about who's won this week or anything like that, because we just want to put some time aside to talk about Robert Redford. Robert Redford, who died at the age of 89, a couple of days before we recorded this. And yeah, I mean, look, if you want to look for an eloquent obituary, sort of like, dedication to the man, you will find that in other places. There's loads of places where I've spoken about that. But Sean, you said something about that. You said that maybe you should just sort of talk about picking favorite Robert Redford films. Or, I mean, we have a running thing about Robert Redford on this show anyway, because Sean is convinced that Brad Pitt is actually Robert Redford's son. And if it isn't his son, he is his reincarnation, because Sean keeps seeing films, especially as Brad Pitt grows older, and going, hang on a second, this guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
And I think there's another thing you were talking about. You were talking about the fact that there seems to be parallels, like how Brad Pitt's in the baseball movie Moneyball, and Robert Redford was in the baseball movie The Natural, and Brad Pitt's in a racing movie F1, and I'm pretty sure Robert Redford wasn't he in Le Mans? He was in a Le Mans movie in the 60s or something like that.
But for me, he made his. I think he came to fame really in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, yes.
That was the main one. And I mean, again, he started the Sundance Festival, didn't he?
Yep, in Utah.
So the Sundance Festival, which there are some really quite good.
Well, to be honest with you, I think Quentin Tarantino owes a large part of his career to the Sundance Film Festival.
Yes.
Because I think there were a couple of years where everybody was going because Reservoir Dogs, I think, premiered. That's where it made a big splash.
Yeah.
Same thing with Pulp Fiction. And I think after a while, I think Quentin Tarantino and the Sundance Film Festival were just kind of like partners in crime kind of thing.
Anonymous, yeah.
And that was Robert Redford who started it, because he wanted to unearth like new voices in American cinema. So, and yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, you were saying.
Have you got a favourite film of his?
I was trying to remember the first film I actually ever saw him in. The thing is, this might not be my favorite, because I mean he's done a lot of stuff, and I came to him later in life. So I think by the time I actually heard the name Robert Redford, he'd become a director, and he directed Ordinary People in the 80s. But there is a film that he did with Jane Fonda, not Barefoot in the Park. This is one that he and Jane Fonda did when they were older, and it's called Our Souls at Night. It's a film on Netflix called Our Souls at Night, and it's about them being like this older couple. His wife's dead, her husband's dead, and then she comes to him with like a proposal of let's start sleeping together, not sex, just sleeping together, because I'm sure that you, like me, are in that old house. And it's a really, really sort of like, just this. It's a really sweet film. It's a really sweet film with them in their older age and everything like that, finding each other, and about how romance might look different when you're older, and the different things you have to worry about with children and grandchildren. And I have a real soft spot in my heart for him in that film, for him and Jane Fonda in that film. I think they're brilliant in that film. So that's a film that when I think about Robert Redford, going maybe a bit off the beaten path, but I would say Our Souls at Night.
Good. I mean, there's a spy novel called 3 Days of the Condor.
Yes. That's a classic that I've never seen.
Yeah, you've seen that one. And he was
I've never seen it. I've never actually
seen it. Yeah, that's really good. That's a clever movie. And there's also a Western, which doesn't come up very much. It's called Jeremiah Johnson.
Yep.
And it takes place in
that's the one with him with the proper beard.
With the proper beard, and the buckskins and all that. So
yeah.
I mean, and there are some films you sort of forget about that he was in. All the President's Men.
Yes, All the President's Men. Because I think the thing about him is that he also, because he was an activist, and I don't think he's the kind of person who made films just to make films. I think he always wanted to say something. I feel, and I think I really appreciated that, or I really, really respected that about him. And he did a lot of stuff. And obviously after the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he showed up and
chosen. I sometimes wonder if you're like, I was just about to say that, and you almost jump in. It's like, did you just suck that from my mind? Because I was going to say because he played a really good part in that, and he was really.
He did
really
Alexander Pierce in The Winter Soldier, and he was brilliant.
He was brilliant. In that.
There is a real strong case to be made that he is probably one of the best Marvel bad guys.
Bad guys, yeah.
That
Because
we've
I think
had.
what it is he's a bad guy, but he could come across as
Genial. He could come.
a good guy, you know.
Yeah,
Come across a good. Everybody would like. Well, you know, he's not. But anyway,
yeah. Ooh. Okay, so I've been looking at his filmography, and this is where I found out about him. The first film that I actually heard about Robert Redford, and because I remember I was in Nigeria, this film came out, people were talking about it, and I was kind of like going, everyone's talking about this Robert Redford like he's a big deal, and I didn't get it because I was just like, he's an older white actor, and it was Indecent Proposal. That was the first Indecent Proposal. So I'm looking at his 90s to the 2000s outfit, and Sneakers, Indecent Proposal, Up Close and Personal with Michelle Pfeiffer, which is essentially the Star is Born but in the newsroom. The Last Castle. I remember that film with James Gandolfini. The Last Castle, yeah, with James Gandolfini. Spy Game, where with him and who's in Spy Game with him, Sean?
I don't know who's in Spy Game with him.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, and they actually have.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of Spy versus Spy.
Yeah, the spy game where he's like a sort of mentor sort of student relationship kind of thing.
No,
with
that's
the CIA,
right. Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
I thought you were talking Spy versus Spy with that silly whatever it was. That was who was in Spy versus Spy?
Was that, I don't know, Peter Sellers?
Tom Hardy, I think.
Oh, that Spy versus Spy.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
what I was. That's
Tom Hardy and Chris Pine.
Yeah,
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I was trying to work out. I was like, oh right, okay,
yeah. But if we look at that, I mean, and he had up to that, I think that he had a really, really good run in that. There was a film I always wanted to see but never got to see, which essentially is just him on screen with almost no words, and it's just Robert Redford, called All Is Lost.
Oh, that's the one with the boat.
That's the one in the boat, and the one in the.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and I heard so many things about that film. People said that he should have won an Oscar for it, but I never actually saw it. It was one of those films that ended up on my Netflix list, and then it left Netflix, and I never actually watched it. Yeah. So it's like, but Robert Redford is one of those guys. 89. That's a good innings.
That's a good age, mate. That's a good age.
It's a good age, and all I can say is this might be a little bit morbid, but I really, really hope that it was peaceful. I hope that it wasn't. Because I know we recently lost Gene Hackman as well, and everything I read about Gene Hackman's death just made me so sad. That was the way it went out, and I really hope, because I know it's films. I know it doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. I know that there's a lot more things that I know worse things happen at sea and all that kind of stuff. But I do look at this and go like, he gave a lot to something that we both love. He gave a lot to something that we both love. He gave a lot to something that a lot of people around the world love. And if there's a way of just saying thank you dude, and I hope he went peacefully.
Yeah. I concur with that. I'm sure he did. So and we just hope on that. And we'll probably get to see a few of his films come out now.
A few of them get released in cinema. Oh yeah, Robert Redford season. If they put All Is Lost in the cinema, I think I might have to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go.